Good morning, everyone. We will begin our service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phones and listen quietly as the sounding of the kancho is an invitation to settle our hearts and minds as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you. So welcome to today's Hiroshima Remembrance service, which commemorates the 81st anniversary of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This service is being hosted in collaboration with the Kona Hiroshima Kenjinkai. My name is Claudia Chang. I'm the president of the Kona Hiroshima Kenjinkai, and I will serve as your MC today. For today's service, assisting Reverend Blaine with technical support are Alan Matsumoto, Lynn Katayama, and Darren Katayama. Thank you very much. Corinne Chong is the organist, and Betty Takioka will lead us in the singing. So can we all please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana led by Reverend Blaine. And please chant both the Pali and the English parts together with him. For those of you on Zoom, please be sure your mics are muted. And Please remain standing for the aspiration, which will be shared by Reverend Blaine.
Please join me in Gasho. Today we gather as friends in the Dharma, held by the boundless compassion of Amida Buddha and joined together on this shared journey of life. Together with the members of the Kono Hiroshima Kenjinkai, we gather in deep remembrance on this 81st anniversary of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. With hearts of gratitude and humility, we offer our sincere wish that peace may take root in each of us and throughout the world. As we remember the suffering of the past and witness the uncertainty, division, and suffering of our world today, may we be awakened to the truth of our deep interdependence. May we be guided beyond fear, resentment, and self-centeredness by the wisdom and compassion that comes to us through the Dharma. With grateful hearts, let us listen to the aspiration of Amida Buddha expressed in the Jusei, the verses reaffirming the vows, words that are inscribed on the Hiroshima peace bell. Jinriki endai ko, fusho musai do, shoujo sanku myo, kosai shu yaku nan. Emitting a great light with my majestic power, I will completely illuminate the boundless worlds. Dispelling thereby the darkness of the three defilements, I will deliver all beings from suffering and affliction. May we take refuge in the Buddha, who awakens us to the truth of our lives, in the Dharma, the teaching that illumines the path of wisdom and compassion, and the Sangha, the community that supports and encourages us as we learn to live with humility, gratitude, and care for one another. Entrusting ourselves to the working of Amida's primal vow, the vow of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we receive the Nembutsu not as our own achievement, but as the calling voice of boundless compassion. In gratitude, humility, and remembrance, let us say the honored name together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Buts Namanda Buts Namanda Buts Namanda Buts Namanda.
Please be seated. We will now have the offering of incense, and we invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving to the back. And please use both burners. Let us all now observe a moment of silent meditation. Reverend Blaine will now lead us in the chanting of the Sutra Jushige, and words can be found on page 55 in the Jodo Shinshu service book. So again, on page 55, and it's also available on the screen in the Jodo Shinshu service book.
The Buddha of Infinite Light and Life made vows to embrace all beings equally without exception. These vows promise to create a perfect world where no suffering or evil exists and guides us to supreme awakening. The Ju-Seige, or verses reaffirming the vows, is a poetic summary of the basic intention of the 48 vows made by Amida Buddha to attain supreme enlightenment, to save all who are suffering, and to declare universal liberation through the name Namo Amida Butsu. We chant the words of the Buddha as a reminder of these great vows of compassion made to liberate and to awaken all beings. The verses reaffirming the vows. 주주기 된고 흥엔 이승가이 호소 고세 그노그호 조 나이 시즌 세포 시싱은 그요이 사임은 그소 그시도 그혼 간내 신조만 도그위 산가이요 뇨은 명예지 ዝ나미 ፍ쇼 간가 그웨니 노시 사이쇼손 싱안야고가 나이센노 간노 고그쇼 텐닌 도의진묘계
There's a bird flying around. Did you guys see it? Okay. Please rise for the Gata, the wondrous gift of peace. Words can be found on page 220 in the new Gata book, which is the purple one. So page 220. And thank you, Betty, for leading us. So please sing along with Betty.
We who flounder in the turmoil
Thank you, Betty. Please be seated. Today we have our special guest and our friend, Mr. Tadashi Hosokawa, and his wife, Junko, who are here to join us. Mr. Hosokawa and Junko. Thank you. In April 2024, I went to Hiroshima for the Sister City relationship trip with the County of Hawaii and the Hatsukaichi City. At that time, Mitch Roth was the mayor, and he signed the Sister City agreement. And this is an important partnership between Hawaii Island and Hatsukaichi to continue to build a long-term friendship. At this time, with so much unrest in the world, these international friendships are so important. The people of Hiroshima are dedicated to peace, and we need to all work together to promote peace and a world free of nuclear weapons. So today, our guest speaker is the former Mayor Mitch Roth. So Mitch served as Mayor of Hawaii County from 2020 to 2024, dedicating his administration to sustainability, community resilience, and deepening global partnerships. Through his tenure, he championed international diplomacy, proudly fostering the city's sister city relationship between Hawaii County and Hatsukaichi, Japan, to build cross-cultural pathways for youth, peace, and commerce. Following his public service, Mitch Roth joined Central Pacific Bank, where he continues to champion community and economic growth. In his role, he actively strengthens ties between Hawaii and Japan by driving cross-border business initiatives, including launching local Hawaii culinary ventures in Japan and facilitating the import of authentic Japanese goods. You know, all those wonderful things we see in Keti and we enjoy. So a passionate advocate for global harmony, former Mayor Roth remains deeply committed to honoring historical bonds, promoting international friendship, and investing in the next generation of global leaders.
Aloha. All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to be here today to remember the victims of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki and reflect on the importance of peace. Today is a day of remembrance, but I believe it's also a day of responsibility. We remember the lives that were lost. We remember the suffering of those who survived. And we remember so that future generations will understand the terrible consequences of war and the importance of peace. For me, peace is not just an abstract concept. It's something we build, choice by choice, relationship by relationship, friend by friend. That became especially clear during a recent visit I had to Hiroshima. I spent a few days there and I quickly realized something wonderful. I had more friends in Hiroshima than I had time to visit them. It's a good problem to have, isn't it? I mean, thinking before our sister city relationship, I knew very few people from Hiroshima. But more than that, it reminded me just how deep the roots between our communities have grown. Those roots are strengthened by sister city relationships we have created throughout Japan and the world, and especially the relationship between Hawaii County and Hatsukaichi City in Hiroshima Prefecture. These relationships show us what peace can be like. Peace is not simply the absence of conflict. It's the active presence of friendships, understandings, collaboration, and mutual respect. During my time as mayor, I had the privilege of helping to create our Sister City Agreement and strengthening the relationship with Hatsukaichi and Hawaii County. One of the most important things I learned is that a sister city relationship is about much more than signing agreements or exchanging official visits. It's about people. It's about families. It's about students, and we have some students from Japan joining us today. Gomenne. Community leaders, businesses, ordinary people getting together to know one another. And it's about building relationships that can last for generations. I think back to the day that we signed our sister city agreement with Hatsukaichi. After we signed, we went to Miyajima Island. And while I was on Miyajima Island, the Hosokawa's granddaughter, Mana, took me around. And, I was talking to Mana, and, wonderful young girl. She was a little bit shy and didn't feel very comfortable with her English. And I remember giving her some words of advice, have confidence, jishin. And, it's okay to make mistakes. Daijobu, it's okay. The key thing is to have those conversations. So I've actually had the joy of seeing Mana many times since that time, both here in Hawaii as well as in Japan. And recently, Noriko and I went on a trip in May, and we got a chance to see Mana, and we took her out to dinner. So she wasn't with the whole family. It was pretty much the three of us. Actually, we had Steve Ueda from Suisan was with us, and so we took Steve with us as well. And what I remember is, this young, shy girl was no longer a young, shy girl. Here she is talking to grown adults and holding her own in the conversation, confident in her English. She's thriving now as a student at Doshisha University. Watching Mana grow from that hesitant school student into the young woman she is today represents to me one of the real victories of sister cities. Because this is what happens when we build bridges. We give young people opportunities to grow, to learn, to understand another culture, and to see the world beyond their own shores. In those bridges, they can create opportunities in other ways as well. Last year, I had the opportunity of joining and the pleasure of joining Central Pacific Bank. The history of the bank itself carries an important lesson in peace. Central Pacific Bank was founded by Japanese American Nisei veterans and community leaders at a time when many Japanese Americans faced discrimination and difficulty in obtaining loans. These were people who had served their country and returned home determined to create opportunities not only for themselves, but for others. They built a bank founded on the idea that everyone deserves a fair opportunity. To me, that is also an act of peace. And that principle continues to guide the bank today. In my role with Central Pacific Bank, I'm privileged to continue strengthening Hawaii ties with Japan. We are working with local Hawaii businesses as well as Japanese individuals and businesses to help develop relationships and opportunities in Japan and in Hawaii, including the friendships we have built in Hatsukaichi. Recently, I traveled to Hatsukaichi with a local restaurant owner who's exploring the possibility of establishing a location there. We're actually talking about, in that same regard, that local business owner setting up a Japanese restaurant here with okonomiyaki, because Hiroshima okonomiyaki is the best, and we have none here. We're also working with businesses interested in bringing authentic, high-quality products from Hatsukaichi to Hawaii. These projects, they're about commerce, but they're also about something more. They're about sharing our cultures, creating opportunities, and keeping our communities connected. There's a Japanese expression that I've come to appreciate very much. Okage samade. I am what I am because of you. I think that expression is especially appropriate today because peace is never created by one person alone. It grows through actions of individuals, families, organizations, and communities. So at this time, I'd like to recognize some of those people who've helped build these bridges, including the Hangwanji here, the Hiroshima Kenjin-kai, the Konokohala Chamber of Commerce, for their efforts to strengthen the friendships between Hawaii and Japan. I especially would like to recognize Mr. Tadashi Hosokawa, Ms. Junko Hosokawa, and their entire family for the efforts that they've done to bring us so much closer together. And although Mayor Matsumoto from Hatsukaichi is not here, he deserves a lot of respect, as well as the people from Hatsukaichi for their friendship and continuing commitment to Hawaii County. Hatsukaichi occupies a special place in my heart and in this story. It's part of Hiroshima Prefecture, and its proximity and deep connections to Hiroshima make it an important bridge between memory of the past and our hopes for the future. Peace requires people to reach across borders, across cultures, and sometimes across painful histories. Our sister city relationships give us an opportunity to replace distance with understanding. It gives young people an opportunity to meet someone from another country and discover, despite different languages and culture, we share many of the same hopes for our families, our communities, and our future. And we can see that happening today. Like I said, we have a couple of exchange students here. Just the other day, I was talking to a teacher from Hilo High School, and in October, they are going to be bringing a group of students to Hatsukaichi to visit over there. We just had the Hiroshima Kenjin-kai go to Japan and to Hiroshima recently to do a visit. In November, we will have a group from Hatsukaichi coming to celebrate with us the Kona Coffee Festival. Think about it. These exchanges may seem small compared to, great events in history, but I believe they matter enormously because peace is built one relationship at a time. It's built when students meet another student, when a family welcomes a visitor into their home, when community leaders sit together and talk, when businesses discover opportunities to work together, and when people who live thousands of miles apart begin to see one another not as strangers, but as friends. That is the lesson I take from Hiroshima. We cannot change what happened in 1945, but we can choose what we do with that memory of what happened. We can choose to remember. We can choose to educate. We can choose understanding over division. We can choose to build relationships rather than walls. And we can work toward a future where our children and grandchildren know the history of Hiroshima, not because they experienced the horrors of war, but because they learned from them. Today, as we remember the victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, let us also remember the responsibility that comes with that memory. Let us continue building friendships between Hawaii and Japan. Let us continue strengthening the bonds between Hawaii County and Hatsukaichi. Let us continue giving our young people opportunities to know one another. And let us make sure that the words "never again" are not simply words spoken at a memorial, but a commitment we carry with us in the way we live our lives. Okage-sama Day. We are who we are because of those who came before us. and because of the relationships we built with one another today. May memories of those who lost their lives in Hiroshima and Nagasaki never be forgotten. And may their memory inspire each of us to build a little bit more of a peaceful world. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mitch, for your very inspiring message. And along that lines, at this time, I'm going to introduce Ms. Tyra Aoki, and she's going to lead us in reading of the Golden Chain of Love. Tyra herself just returned yesterday from a student exchange trip to Hiroshima, where she was appointed as a Hiroshima Goodwill Ambassador by the Hiroshima Governor Yokota. So you all find the Golden Chain of Love in this laminated plastic. So Tyra?
Hi, forgive me, I'm a little jet lagged. Me and Mrs. Cheo Kurishige just returned home yesterday. Yeah, it was such an amazing experience. It was truly one of the best weeks of my life. I got to deepen my knowledge of the culture and the importance of peace, and really seeing everything in person has such a deepening impact on you. And we were privileged enough to attend the Peace Memorial ceremony, but it was really a special experience, and not only did it widen my perspective of Hiroshima and Japan, but also places from all around the world by meeting delegates from all over the globe. And it was possible thanks to so many people. My relatives, who I can see on the Zoom call here, Kazuyuki, and all the program coordinators, and just so many people made it possible. But without further ado, the Golden Chain of Love. I am the link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you very much, Tyra. I cannot wait to hear about your trip to Hiroshima. Okay, now we will have offertory presentation by, I guess it's not going to be Kendra and Taylor, but it's going to be Taylor and Kira Nishihara. Mahalo for your generosity, everyone. We will conclude today's service with the singing of the Gata Nembutsu. So everyone, please rise.
Namanda, 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 Namanda.
You may be seated. This concludes today's Hiroshima Remembrance service, and here are some announcements about upcoming schedule of services and events. So there will be no regular Sunday services for the next 3 Sundays. So next week Sunday, August 16th, the 23rd, and 30th. We'll be on summer break, and Sunday services on 10 a.m. will resume on September 6th with a regular Dharma family service. And at that time, Reverend Blaine will share a Dharma message. Sunday, September 13th is Grandparents' Day, and service will be held at 10 a.m. The lay guest speaker will be Sangha member Stephen Gallardo. So Grandparents' Day, Stephen Gallardo on September 13th. Sunday, September 20th, we will observe our annual Autumn Ohigan service at 10 o'clock. And again, Reverend Blaine will share a Dharma message. On Sunday, September 27th, Minister's Assistant Linda Nagai will share a Dharma message at the 10 o'clock a.m. Dharma family service. So save the date, Konohonganji fundraiser, which again doing a standard bakery ampang and cocoa pan sale, and that is scheduled for Saturday, September 26th. Pickup will be at the social hall from 9 to 12, and the forms are available in the August G-Hole and in Reverend Blaine's weekly email update. So please turn in your order form and payment by Friday, August 21st to the office. The Hawaii Island Nembutsu Seminar, will be held on October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Kamuela Honganji and at the Hilo Betsuwin. So please consider attending one or more of the sessions. Featured speaker will be Reverend Dr. Kamela Javalana Hirano, practicing psychiatrist and minister at Salt Lake City Buddhist Temple in Utah, and our Sangha member psychologist, Dr. Bart Aoki, will be joining her at the Kamuela session. So again, this is on October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So next week Sunday, the Konahonganji Judo Club is having its fundraising fishing tournament, and the weigh-in will be here at the social hall, and we'll also be having a craft fair from 10 to 4, so that's next week Sunday. Reverend Blaine, do you have any other announcements?
A big mahalo to everybody for coming out to our very special remembrance service. Thank you to Claudia and the members of the Hiroshima Kenjinkai for your hard work today. We have a special treat for you this after service. There will be okonomiyaki during refreshments. Thanks to everybody who brought also refreshments to share and to share this time of fellowship together. Big mahalo to Mitch. Thank you for coming and for sharing your thoughts and peace and building relationships. You know, in Buddhist teachings, there is a lesson about Indra's net. And imagine a vast cosmic net, right? And in each knot in the net is a jewel, right? And each jewel reflects all other jewels around it, right? And so it reminds us that each of us is one of those jewels. Each of us has a kulyana, a responsibility to shine brightly, to polish our own jewel, right? To do our part so that all of us can have peace together, right? That this is about us, about our relationship, that each of us is responsible. So thank you for reminding us about that. And just to note, Mitch also is the chair of the Vibrant Hawaii board of directors, which I serve on as well. Thank you for your public service, continued public service through other nonprofit. So again, thank you everybody for coming out today. So.
Thank you, Reverend Blaine. You know, I noticed that we have some special guests with us today. So one of them is Tyra's grandparents from, and I'm sorry, I forget if it's Michigan or Wisconsin. Huh? Minnesota, okay, I knew it was one of those North states. But anyway, Dee and Edmund Bujowski. Thank you. So I told them they came a perfect time so they can try the okonomiyaki. We also have these BWA exchange students from Japan that's here visiting. And I'm sorry, I don't know your names, but. Thank you for joining us. I hope you folks are enjoying your short stay here in Kona. And I noticed also, and Tyra pointed this out, we have our visitors from on Zoom from Japan, our relative, Mr. Kazuyuki Hirai-san, and I see somebody else from Japan. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody on the Zoom. And again, thank you to Mitch, former Mayor Mitch Roth for being our guest speaker, and thank you, Noriko, for joining us today, along with Tadashi and Junko Hosokawa. Thank you very much. And to our Sangha members, mahalo for your attendance today. And for those of you here today, refreshments of okonomiyaki as well as grilled mochi will be served. So on your way to the social hall, please stop by, pick up your okonomiyaki, and you might even get to catch a glimpse of them preparing it. So unfortunately, we're not very skilled at this, so we're having, I guess, what they call the Osaka-style okonomiyaki. So it's not the fancy layered Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki. But as Mitch mentioned, in November, the Hatsukaichi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Hosokawa, and the Kona Kohala Chamber of Commerce, they have their 20th year anniversary. So they're coming and they're going to participate in the Kona Coffee Cultural Festival. So on Wednesday, November 11, we're going to have a concert here. Mr. Hosokawa put together a trio, a pianist, a koto player, and a singer. So they're going to be here performing on Wednesday, November 11th, as well as, the Otofuku sauce people and the Chamber of Commerce people will be preparing the Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki, so you should be here. They're also going to be participating at the Ho'olaulea. And one night, believe it or not, Mr. Hosokawa wants to go to a rodeo, so we're going to go to Waikoloa Stables for a rodeo down in Waikoloa, so that should be fun and exciting. So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. So the chefs today are Bobby Miyashiro, Russell Nishihara, Tiffany Kaneko, and Maki Yamaguchi. So thank them for, helping us prepare the okonomiyaki. I want to thank them. And Erin and Ramona Nagata. I know Ramona is not an early bird, but she beat me here this morning, so thank them for coming to help set up. And let's see who else. And to the members of the Kona Hiroshima Kenjinkai who brought the other goodies to share today and who helped with the service. So everybody, please be safe, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. So thank you very much for attending today.